So Eric Holder now is being threatened with contempt by a leading member of the House. At issue here, more than 70,000 documents related to Operation Fast and Furious. That was supposed to take down the Mexican drug cartels or lead agents to them. Instead, some guns from that program were used in murders, including the connection to the killing of a U.S. Border Patrol agent, Brian Terry. Now, the chairman of the Oversight and Government Reform Committee is Issa. He's my guest now from the Hill. And, sir, welcome back here to America's Newsroom.
Well, thanks, Bill, and thanks for covering this. You know, the Terry family has waited more than a year to get answers, and so far only 6% to 8% of the documents we know to exist have been delivered. A year is way too long. This investigation is dragging, and obviously with Attorney General Holder coming tomorrow, I wanted to make sure he understood that Congress's patience is not infinite.
Okay, all right, with that as a backdrop right now, let's push for some answers from you. I know you're not satisfied, but you accuse him of some severe things. Misleading Congress, engaging in a cover-up? How so? Cover-up's a serious charge.
Certainly, and I want to make it very clear, we're still finding out what Eric Holder knew and when he knew it. But very clearly on February 4th, when we were delivered a document that says they never walk guns, Lanny Brewer, his chief assistant for the criminal division, and the number 3 at Justice, was in Mexico trying to negotiate further gun walking. So you can't square these inconsistencies at Washington, D.C. headquarters for Justice. And Bill, that's the important thing. All along, we've been told it's just a rogue ATF unit. Then it was just a rogue U.S. attorney. Now we've got the head of the criminal division for Arizona taking the 5th. You sort of see a pattern that they want to throw systematically somebody under the bus. Well, our real question is the Department of Justice has a responsibility to oversee hundreds of operations around the country, to know what they are and know what they shouldn't be. And it's very clear that either they knew what they were and approved them, or they weren't doing their job and didn't fully know it.
Why is it clear? Because the feds are saying this was the ATF office in Phoenix. Go blame them. It was their operation. Why are you not convinced?
Well, first of all, we have sworn testimony on the 4th of July last year from the acting director of the ATF, Kenneth Melson, where he said, first of all, he believed Justice was trying to throw the ATF under the bus. Second of all, he gave us dates, times, and details of what he knew and when he knew it, and more importantly, what he didn't know. You know, Lanny Brewer's people signed basically wiretaps, and they signed them that allowed DEA and other agencies to know things, and Justice to know things that even ATF didn't know. More importantly, to hide from ATF and the embassy in Mexico City, the existence of this operation wasn't done at ATF, it was done at Justice. And again, Bill, we only have about 8% of the documents that we know to exist, and we already have one after another things that lead up to Justice that show us this operation may have been very popular with U.S. Attorney Burke. It may have, in fact, included some rogue ATF individuals. But in order for this to happen and happen again and being sought to happen yet again, it took Justice to do what they shouldn't do, which is allow men and women on both sides of the border to be put in harm's way because of weapons they let walk.
The hearing tomorrow. And Eric Holder has told you that his office is working tirelessly on this. I know you don't buy it. I think the tally on paperwork was 6,000 pages for your committee, where there were 70,000 given to the private investigator at the government level looking into this. What purpose will this hearing serve tomorrow, then?
Well, first of all, Eric Holder is coming before our committee, and we appreciate his coming to answer questions. But we really would have liked to have had more documents so that we could ask him more thorough questions, but you take what you can when you get it. What we expect to ask Eric Holder is, why didn't you know? You've given us sworn testimony first that you only knew a few weeks before a particular previous event. Now you've recanted that and you've said you knew further, but why didn't you know in detail in order to stop this? Why is it that on the day that Brian Terry was killed, you were informed Brian Terry was killed, and yet you say for some reason they didn't tell you that what they knew, which was he was killed with Fast and Furious weapons.
And I know
they were found at the scene.
I know you've pushed for these answers before, and they have been elusive in your view, and we're going to watch tomorrow and see whether or not it takes you a step further. You started this segment by talking about answers. We'll see if we get more tomorrow. Issa on the Hill. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Bill.